Hi everyone, welcome back. This is lesson number 39, and today is going to be a very special lesson because today we're going to learn about two types of sentences that you can make in order to convey a similar meaning or message in English. Both these types of sentences use different tenses and a different grammar structure, but they're pretty easy to use, so don't worry. Knowing the difference between them can help you distinguish the subject of a sentence and understand the context of a situation even better. So, essentially, sentences are written in two different types of voices, okay? These voices are often used in different situations, so knowing how both of them are used will help you clarify your own sentences. Now, the first voice that we use in the English language, we call the active voice, okay? The active voice. Now, the active voice is used for the majority of sentences that we write and that we say in our everyday lives, whether we're talking to family or friends, whether we're at school or work. The active voice is very useful because not only does it make things less complicated and wordy, it also makes the meaning of what you're saying clear to the people that you're talking with, even in writing. The active voice is found more than the other voice that we'll learn today, which is called the passive voice. Okay, now the passive voice is used when we don't know who or what performed the action, or when the action is more important than the person or the thing that performed the action. Okay, unlike the active voice, the passive voice is more wordy and less concise because more words are required to express the action. It is also used less in writing since too much of it can actually fog up the meaning of your sentence, so as to say. Now, grammatically speaking, can you please tell me what is the difference between the active voice and the passive voice? Do you know? What is the difference? All right, well, the active voice is when a sentence has a subject, okay, so which is found usually in the beginning of a sentence, that basically acts upon its verb, okay, which is right here in blue. Now, a passive voice is when the subject in a sentence is the recipient, okay, of an action by a verb. So with the passive voice, the subjects are the recipients of the action, okay, performed by what we call, and what we'll learn later in this lesson, an agent. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sentences that use the active voice, okay? An asteroid struck Earth with tremendous force. So an asteroid, which comes from space, which comes from the universe somewhere, and you know, it has been known to strike Earth, right? I think it killed the dinosaurs. So an asteroid struck. Struck is the past tense coming from the verb to strike, okay, meaning to hit, to kick even, or you have a collision with another car, you strike a car, or a plane strikes a bird while it's flying in the air, it strikes a bird. We use strike with an impact, something forceful, strong, robust. An asteroid struck Earth with tremendous force. We live on Earth, right? There's 8 planets, maybe 9 if you include Pluto, okay? But Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun, and we live on Earth. Many Americans visit Mexico every year or each year, okay? Many Americans visit Mexico, so in the beginning, like an asteroid, that's the subject. And what did the asteroid do? It struck. It performed the verb. It performed the action, okay? In this case, many Americans perform the action, which is from the verb to visit. And what did they visit? They visit Mexico. The president signed the peace treaty with a pink pen. This is a good one. I like this one. The president, which is the subject, what did he do? He signed, okay, whether you sign a document with your name, with a pen and a piece of paper, you sign something important. And what did he sign? He signed the peace treaty, which is basically a declaration of peace between 2 countries, 2 peoples, 2 nations, and it promotes well-being among people, mutual respect, Okay, responsibility. Let's go ahead and continue. They serve breakfast every morning at 8 a.m. So they, which is also a pronoun, right? We have I, you, he, she, it, we, and they in English. They is a pronoun. And what do? They serve. And what do they serve? They serve breakfast. Okay, serve is the verb. Serve is the action. They perform the action. Finally, we have the homeless man from my neighborhood had just won the lottery. Okay, the homeless man, this one's interesting. This is somebody without a home. You can see we have two words here. The first one is home. It's where you live. The second one, right here, lis, is oftentimes a suffix that we add to words, which means to not have. Okay, so to not have a home. So we have the homeless man, a man who does not have a home. He is homeless. From my neighborhood, which is a place where you live in the area of your city with other people as well, had just won the lottery. What did he do? He had won. And what did he win? The lottery, which Americans love to play. You buy a ticket for maybe $1 or $2 and potentially you can win millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars or even hundreds of millions of dollars in a few cases. So that's it for the active voice in these examples. So I just want to point out that as you can see, the subject, okay, performs the action in every one of these sentences. You guys should be quite familiar with the active voice since we've literally used it from lesson 1. So I actually think that you guys are very good at this, so don't worry. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how to make a passive voice sentence or a passive sentence. Now, in the passive voice, the object of the active verb becomes the subject in the passive sentence. So the active verb changes into a passive form and the subject of the active verb becomes the agent. Okay, so in passive sentences, the agent, okay, is introduced by the word by, okay? Or, I'll write by right here, which is by, okay? So this word by, it introduces the agent, which is a person or maybe a thing, okay? But in some cases, we don't need to use this, okay? So you can choose whether you want to use by or not. Okay, it's your choice. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the examples. The university is attended by 10,000 students. So the subject is the university in this case. Is attended, so is attended, passive voice. By, right? So we have by right here, which is introducing the agent. And what is the agent? The agent in this case is the students. The 10,000 students are the agent, okay? So they are performing the action essentially on the university because the university receives 10,000 students. Next we have, these paintings were realized by, here's that beautiful by again, the same person who painted the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is a famous painting in Paris, I believe, in a museum in Paris. I'm not sure exactly which one, but the Mona Lisa is famous worldwide, and the person who painted the Mona Lisa was also the same person who painted these paintings, whatever these paintings are. So here we have also by, which introduces the agent, and the agent is the same person who painted the Mona Lisa. Let's continue. The park was inaugurated by the city's mayor. The mayor of a city is somebody who manages a city, who supervises the city, who makes the city a good place to live in, a healthy place to live in, a respectable place to live in. That is the mayor. He is in charge. Inaugurated. Inaugurated means, in some cases, it can mean to be established, to be introduced to the public. Usually with something that is inaugurated, we have a celebration. Okay, on the first day of being open, for example, if a business opens or if a university opens. Next, the letters were written by a friend from high school. Okay, we have letters. Who were they written by? A friend from high school. High school in America, in the United States, it goes from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So from 9th all the way to 12th grade, that's high school. That makes up high school. The city was looted and private property was vandalized. Okay, so we're talking about something that happened to the city. It was looted. Okay, what does looted mean? It means when a lot of people or a group of people take things that don't belong to them. They steal things without paying money for them. They take them with force. And private property was vandalized. Vandalized means to be destroyed, to be desecrated, to be disabused. Okay? All right, let's move on. So the next one that we have, guys, is the artifact was discovered in a cave by an archaeologist. So a cave is a place that is usually in the ground in maybe a mountain or a hill. And sometimes animals live in caves, like bears. Even people like me and you, we used to live in caves too, like 10,000 years ago. So that's a cave, and it was there was an artifact that was discovered in this cave by who? By an archaeologist, which is somebody who goes out, digs in the ground, and finds really unique and intricate things, okay, from a long time ago, thousands of years ago. He was awarded by the school principal. Okay, so the school principal is the agent, and the action is acting upon him, okay, whoever he is, in this case a student, I believe. He was awarded. Awarded is something that you receive with respect. And when you are awarded with something, you feel proud, you feel happy, you feel accomplished. The films are produced by a famous Hollywood actor. Produced means to be created. So are created, are made, are developed, okay? Are designed, are directed. The films are produced by a famous Hollywood actor. A famous Hollywood actor is the agent in this example here. All right, so guys, before we end, I just want to ask you, did you notice that with the passive voice we use the words is, are, was, and were? Here you can see in these examples we have is, were, was, are. So this is just one way to tell if a sentence is passive or not. Okay. Also, notice the use of the past participle in the passive voice. The past participle is the verb with ed in most cases, unless it's irregular. If it is irregular, you have to memorize it. Don't forget. So, realized. Okay. And let's go ahead and we'll look at these ones over here. So you can see that even here we have some of these examples, and this is one of the easiest ways to tell if something is using the passive voice or not. All right? Now, before we end this lesson, guys, let's go ahead and turn our active voice sentences right here into passive voice sentences. Okay? So, to begin, we have an asteroid struck Earth with tremendous force. Okay, and in this example we have Earth was struck. Okay, we actually have that same verb here, struck and struck, by an asteroid with tremendous force. Many Americans visit Mexico each year. Okay, becomes Mexico is visited by many Americans each year. And then we have the president signed the peace treaty with a pink pen. Okay, which becomes the peace treaty was signed. Okay, here we have visited, right? Because remember, we have to use it, we have to put it in the past. Okay, so we have visited with ed here instead of the present form of visit in this example. So the peace treaty was signed, also passed, by the president with a pink pen. They serve breakfast every morning at 8 a.m. becomes breakfast is served by them every morning at 8 a.m. And then we have the homeless man from my neighborhood had just won the lottery. So had and won goes together. okay? And was won goes together in this one. So the lottery was just won by the homeless man in my neighborhood. All right, guys, so all this stuff here is pretty easy. Just the active voice, guys, is the one that you're going to use more often. And the passive voice sentences, you can use them for sure. And if you choose to use the active voice, that's fine. If you choose to use the passive voice, that's fine too. But with the passive voice, it might be a little more complicated because you need more words. Okay, so don't forget that. All right, everyone, I think that's going to be it for this lesson. Make sure to hit the like button and please subscribe. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.